Welcome back to Solving the World's Problems.
So between the two of you, what it takes to solve the world's problem is a lot of weed and a lot of mushroom.
Yep.
So I've traveled to White Pass, Washington for a fresh perspective on the problems of the world. With the mountaintop's elevation at 6,500 feet above sea level, looking down over the world around is a vantage point for these small community folk to see more than most.
I am Heather Brannon, and I'm a big sister, and I'm a forever player. I like to play and be curious, and forever student of the world. And I like to change people's lives by teaching them how to snowboard and ski.
Hi, my name is Avalon Libera. I am a, college graduate, vagabond, individual doing the nature thing that I feel that is my best choice that day.
I'm Mackenzie. I'm not a college graduate, but I worked my way up to White Pass and think that the nature area is the best. I feel most happiest. I don't feel happier in town, and I feel like community up here is so stoked and should do it.
My name is Erica. Who am I? I'm human. I'm a vulnerable human, right? Walking through life, not knowing what to do, looking at it as a practice, making mistakes along the way, learning along the way.
My name is Noah Brannon, and I currently work at UPS sending your guys' packages.
So my question is, if you believe that there are problems in the world, can you please share with us what you see?
Seeing a cry for help, I think. I think when someone acts out, it's always a cry for help.
Like a local scale and like a community scale in my life, I've seen a lot of violence, I've seen a lot of judgment and bullying, especially when we're talking about younger populations.
For me, and where I grew up, I saw a lot of violence in town.
I know a lot of us, we're not taught how to love.
So that's always been a big problem for me. I do not want violence within my community.
Every time I'm going to work, I see people on the side of the road, the side of the freeway, camping out, just not looking like they're living their best life, and it looks like they need some help.
A lot of us are, it starts when you're young, you're pushed away.
And then on a more global scale, hunger, access to basic rights, access to water, clean water, access to food, access to healthcare, access to things that we, right here where we are in the United States, in Washington, we have access to healthcare, and that's all right. A lot of places in the world, they don't have that. So seeing literally people starving and drinking dirty water, that's a big issue.
I think it's how we interact with one another. Like at the end of the day, how we interact with one another can cause the most pain.
Just projecting and just judgment for other people, not understanding that people make mistakes.
So I think at the core, when we look at, starvation, when we look at wars, when we look at climate change, I do feel like if you went back to the basics, I'm going to care for myself and love myself well. A lot of us don't know how to do that. We're taught how to do that. We're not treated correctly.
Now we've seen the problem, it's time to land on a solution.
What do you think it takes to solve the world's problems?
Not relating really to what I said, but weed is currently getting closer to being federally legal, and I think opening up weed bars could bring us a lot closer as a community and really communicate with a different perspective instead of being a little bit more hostile in a regular bar. Everyone's more open-minded with this magic plant that we have.
I think on a different tangent, psilocybin, ayahuasca, the toad, peyote, all these different things have been used since the dawn of time. We've had these coming of age ceremonies, right? You graduate into adulthood. It goes from me to we. We used to send people out into the woods to commune with their God, and we say, don't you come back until you know what it is to be a part of a community, right? And psilocybin, I know, makes me feel like I'm connected to everyone and everything. Why would I steal from my sister or my brother? They're part of me.
Right.
And I think that is a big part of having the transition from me to we.
Mind your business. you got your own business to mind. I think that's a big one.
I think it takes almost 50% of these population to come together and have a good game plan on who they think they should be in a community. Not everyone agrees with each other, and that's where we go down, basically.
I think that, if people understood that there's people who are different from us out there, and no one really chose to be born into the life that they're born into, we all just kind of have to deal with the cards that we're given.
Take care of yourself. Take care of the people that are closest to you.
And also, I'm very fortunate, so I try to appreciate that there's other people who might not be as fortunate as I am, and not be judgmental towards that, but rather understand and appreciate, not tolerate. I hear the word tolerance a lot, but how about accept it?
I'm going to care about you a whole lot more if I could just get down to the basic care for one another.
We can learn from people that are different from us. Being different doesn't mean that you're bad or weird or whatever, people are different, and that's something to be celebrated. It's not something to be, hated or talked against or judged against. I feel like people have these polarities, and it's weird because we're all humans. No one picked this. We're all here doing it together. It's the same life.
Stay tuned, as there is more to come from White Pass, Washington in the next video. All you gotta do to stay in the loop is hit that subscribe button. And as always, like, comment, and share.